economy, the financial inclusion, access to banking, PMJDY account, Jan Dhan account, business corporate model is there. Then the limitation of this is the digital literacy gap and limited rural infrastructure and inactive account are there. Then the non-performing asset, this over reliance on the government bailout and red tapeism is there, and a weak credit appraisal and evolving fraud in banking sector, care economy and monetized economy. So the care economy, the woman empowerment of integration. So unpaid care work and invest in care infrastructure, formalization of care work and equal pay and equal benefit for women, GDP growth and low inflation. So benefit of GDP growth and low inflation, the investment boost microeconomic stability, fiscal space, improved credit access and revenue growth. Limitations of this growth and in inflation decreasing, so inequality, jobless growth, informal sector growing and distress in agriculture sector. Science and technology, we have energy accessibility and affordability. So grid expansion is there, off grid solution and states discom in distress, regional dispensity in electric supplies and low solar cost, incentive schemes like PLI, Kusum and Ujala, and rising battery cost, cross subsidization and discom bailout is the provision. Environmental sustainability, renewable generation is rise, Paris Agreement target and NDC policy framework are there, and pollution of thermal plants is decreasing. E-waste is increasing and resource intensity is there. Then the disaster management, so framework evolution, so institutional setup like NDMA and SDMA, fund allocation by NDRF and NDMF, focus on preparedness in NDMP, a National Disaster Management Plan, and community engagement in CBDM, from fragmented approaches and inequitable funding implementation and source of response to emerging risk and weak integration to DRR. Then come the disaster risk reduction. So internal security, so cyber security and challenge and steps. So challenges of cybersecurity, the rising cybercrime, skill gap, lack of awareness, weak infrastructure, cross-border issue. The step to strengthen, so robust legal framework, capacity building, public-private partnership, international cooperation, awareness campaign. Then the infrastructure and education is there. Then we have the conscience and moral reasoning. So influence of decision making, so strengthening personal integrity, balancing complete value and enabling empathy and build public trust. Then the Gandhian value in public administration, truth and non-violence, sarvodaya, trusteeship, simplicity and self-discipline, swaraj and decentralization and accountability, attitude for effective public service. So this is cultivating altitude, so practicing empathy, adopting problem solving approach, ethical anchoring, inculcating patriotism. Then the integrity versus external influence, interpreting nothing is at last scared but integrity of your own mind, integrity as internal compass, conflict with external pressure, example Satyendra Dubey and Ashok Khemka. Then the case study, the Sneha Verma. So ethical concern, tendering process, political pressure, anonymous allegation, dilemma faced by Sneha, an option available, most appropriate action, ensuring ethical integrity in public procurement. Then case study of Abhishek, so ethical dilemma, migrant security and corruption, and stakeholder concern. Then the Arvind Mehta case study, budget given question proposal and ethical issue, welfare and development. And as so, so the self is both a sanctuary and a battlefield. So the uh, Kutas. So the self is both the sanctuary and the battlefield. So physical dual nature, shadow self and spiritual self and spiritual ethical. Then the resistance versus resilience. So Indian freedom struggle and post apartheid in South Africa. Adversary reveals character, power reveals true nature. The adversity test versus power test, though Kant and Dharma, and Ashoka Mandal and Hitler. institutional construct and personal psychology. The power of words. So ethical dimension of language, Buddhist perspective, Samyak Vak, Spear Warp hypothesis, and violence of language, healing the destruction, policy historical example, Gandhi movement. Then the gratitude. So philosophy, spiritual, cultural views, Santosh and Mudita, and grow better and go better. So responding to adversary and optimism, stoicism, and Jainism, and Ashoka, Chola dynasty, Gandhi, ISRO, and the personal struggle gives this grow better and grow better. So we have in ISRO, we have the carry the satellite on the so grow better and go better. Then the dimensions of ethics. So key dimension are normative ethics means what should be done, and meta ethics what is ethics itself is. Then the teleological focus on the ends, deontological focus on the mean, and applied ethics application of ethics in the everyday life. Then comes the this judicial activism, so role in governance, policy influence, and environmental protection. Challenge and balance of power, so encroachment of legislative domain. Then States Reorganization Act 1956, so addressing aspiration, creation of linguistic state, self-determination, and representation for state. So impact administration efficiency, national integration, inclusion, and federalism. Challenge unfulfilled aspiration and subnationalism. Then the right to privacy, Swami 2017, Article 21, impact on fundamental right, reinforcing of fundamental rights 19, 14, and 20, protection on personal autonomy, sexual orientation, reproductive choices. Then the implication, data protection and surveillance. So the soft power in neighborhood first policy. So share heritage like Buddhist diplomacy and Yoga Day, humanitarian aid, vaccine Maitri, and Operation Brahma, development cooperation, mail connectivity and SMADEM, and education and capacity building, ITER and ICCR, and energy connectivity diplomacy, cross border trade, and BBIN, and guiding value 5S principle. So India's voice of Global South, advocacy in global climate and development negotiation, hosting voice of Global South summit, and Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam philosophy, and global development and compact proposal. Then the India Act East policy, so security cooperation, Malabar and Milan, diplomatic engagement, ARF, EAS, IORA, and APEC. Strategic partnership, Australia, Japan, South Korea, and economic opportunity, trade and investment. BIMSTEC and SARC. So SARC political challenge, BIMSTEC as alternative of SARC, geopolitical alignment, BIMSTEC alignment with India's policy. So the regional connectivity and economic integration, South-South cooperation, and security counterterrorism cooperation. Then comes the India defense engagement with US and Russia. US Russia is the time-tested partner, defense cooperation, arms supply, and strategic arm alignment with BRICS and SU. US the evolving partner, countering China, military agreement like Limoma, Komkasa, and Beka, Quad alliance, and military exercise like Malabar, Yudhbhyas, and tech collaboration ICET. Then the strategic relevance in the comparison of Russia and USA. So the socio-religious reform movement in nationalism. So unity through cultural nationalism, Arya Samaj and Vivekanand. Empowerment through social reform, Vidyasagar and Phule. Muslim reform and political modernity, Aligarh movement. Creation of political language, Vernacular Press Act. Then the Lord Curzon policy and nationalism aims consolidating control and key policy partition of Bengal and contribution to national movement, intensified sentiment and radicalization by the Lord Curzon. And then the mineral rich region paradox, like underdevelopment despite of resource like Nagpur. So reasons, so environmental debris, acidic runoff, weak governance, DMF, fund unspent, and infrastructure deficit and over reliance on mining. And effort of limitation and DMF and ADP and bridging the gap, decentralized burning, EIA, skilling connectivity, Newer interlinked project ILR saw the potential benefit water security, flood growth mitigation, agriculture boost, hydropower generation, and transportation benefit. The challenge so ecological impact, displacement, soil salinity, erosion, and long term sustainability. Then the improvement and alternative water harvesting, crop diversification, and success models. Then the art and culture. So classical dance, origin and significance of classical dance. Key example are the Bharatanatyam, Kathan and Odissi, Satriya, and cultural and civilizational community in UNESCO recognition by the for the classical dance. Indian temple architecture. So regional diversity in temple architecture, the Dravidian style, Kalinga style, Vesra, Nagar, and indigenous style. Then the socio-political influence by the temple, so dynastic patronage, economic institution, and cultural pluralism. Then the sociology, so urbanization impact, so family and kinship change, nuclear family and extended family, class and community structure, erosion of rigid line. Then the polity, the doctrine of element of domain, eminent domain. So doctrine on eminent domain. So justification, sovereign power, public use, constitutional foundation, Article 300A, core conditions, public purpose, legal authority and compassion, judicial interpretation, property, honor association versus state of Maharashtra, the Sudarshan Charitable Trust, the material resource clarification and public trust doctrine and Article 31C, validity and restrictions. Then the simultaneous election, the reduce electoral disruption, MCC. So these are the current affairs for the April. So thank you very much. Thank you.